What we're getting ready to do now, we're going to go ahead and put some paint on the underside of this hood. That way when you lift the hood after the truck's all done, the under hood will match the outside color of the truck. Give it just a little bit more professional appearance when it comes to the paint job. So what I'm going to do, or what I've already done, I went ahead and I washed the hood with dish soap, just a dish soap and a regular wash mitt. Washed it, I dried it, and then anywhere I was going to paint, I went ahead and ran over it with some gray Scotch-Brite just to scuff it up a little bit. Put some real fine scratches in there. That'll give that paint, it'll run down into those scratches and then dry. And when it dries in those scratches, it'll have like something to hang on to. So we'll have a good mechanical adhesion with those little scratches in combination with the chemical adhesion that the paint normally has. So after I rubbed it down with my Scotch-Brite, I'm going to take my rubbing alcohol and just go around and wipe everywhere I'm going to paint. So you can see, even after being washed with dish soap and then rubbed with the Scotch-Brite, there's still some funk on there. So I'll just keep going around. I'll just make lap after lap around it with my wipe ball and my rubbing alcohol until I get a clean towel, and then it'll be ready for paint. Mix up our paint. We're going to take our base coat, clear coat paint system and convert it to a single stage enamel. That way we can go and do the stuff underneath the hood, the back of the tailgate, things like that that don't need that base coat, clear coat quality. We're going to go ahead and do that with this stuff right here. I'll show you guys how I'm going to do it. That's the same paint that we're going to put on the rest of the truck everywhere. So I just threw a little in this cup. Throw a little reducer in there. Next we're going to do some clear. And then we're going to do a little bit of hardener for the clear. You can see I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the ratio. In fact, I didn't pay any attention to the ratio. Just kind of mix that stuff up. I've done it this way a lot, and I've never had a problem. For whatever reason, when you do this, it's exceptionally tolerant to variances in the mixing ratio. So don't really worry about it. One thing you do want to do, just mix it really well. Make sure we get it good and mixed, because you got a lot going on in there. You got urethane, you got hardener, you got clear, you got reducer. You got a lot happening in there. So we want to get all that stuff mixed together. So mix it up really well. This is not something that you want to paint your whole car with. It's not designed for that. That's not what it's for. It's not going to have as much of a shine to it as a base coat, clear coat, or a single stage paint. It's kind of a in the middle type of deal. So, but it works great for under the hood, and like I said, those inside edges of that tailgate, the back of the tailgate, that kind of. There's a couple other things I'm going to do with this that's going to save me some time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get that stuff, the hood, the underside of the hood, and the edges of that tailgate painted with this. And then I'm going to come back in here, I'm going to take this paint, I'm going to pour it in a cup, put a lid on it, and I'm actually going to put it in the refrigerator. And that will help keep the paint from catalyzing, keep the clear from catalyzing, and hopefully I'll be able to use it again here in a few hours later today. Alright, we're ready to put down the paint that I just mixed. That was the base coat, the clear coat mixed together. Sort of makes like a single stage enamel. We're going to do that on the underside of the hood and the backside and the edges of that tailgate. I've got that stuff loaded in the gun. Let me get my mask. We'll go ahead and lay that stuff down. So that's it. Just 2 coats of that stuff, and we'll let that dry for a little while. Then I'll flip them over. I'll show you guys what I'm going to do with the rest of that, the sort of single stage hybrid paint that we mixed up there. All right, so this is kind of what we got down here. I think this stuff's dry to the touch. Yeah, we're dry to the touch, and that's what we're going to have as far as color under the hood and around our tailgate. So down here in these sides. So you can see it's a pretty nice finish. It's relatively shiny. It's not as shiny as a base coat clear coat setup, but for what we're doing here on the bottom side of the hood, it works great, and it saves us a lot of time and a lot of effort in prep and multiple coats and all that stuff. Alright, so we took our homemade single stage, which was some base color mixed with some clear, and we put it on the back side of this hood, we put it around the edges and on the back side of that tailgate. One other thing that I want to do with that stuff is there's some bare metal spots on these parts as we were moving through the prep where we rubbed all the way through and hit metal. I'm going to cover up those bare metal spots with that homemade base and clear mixed together, homemade single stage, whatever we want to call it. But I'm going to use that to cover up the bare metal. The reason I'm going to do that, the next step in the process is to put on some high build primer. High build primer sticks very well to paint, sticks very well to clear coat, Bondo, body filler, all that kind of stuff. It sticks really well. One thing it does not stick really well to is bare metal. So our bare metal spots on here, when we put that high build, if we go straight over the bare metal, there's a chance down the road that the primer will release from that bare metal and you'll have a bubble which will eventually pop off. So we can avoid that if we cover up the bare metal with our homemade base and clear concoction that we made, our homemade single stage. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let me put my mask on. I've already got it loaded in the gun. Let me dust that stuff down real quick, and then we'll move on to putting the high build primer down.